All right, my friends, welcome to episode 130 of Prof and Dev Play Games. I'm the Professor Larry at Prof Plays Games on Twitter. Over there is Anthony at Summerspeak on Twitter. How's it going this weekend?
Going okay. Time change is wrecking me a little bit, but I'm surviving.
A little rough. My daughter is adjusting pretty well, it seems, to the time change and is helping us get up a little later tomorrow and this morning. I assume it'll continue tomorrow morning. So that's nice. But the other time change was an absolute disaster. So I'm happy that this one's a little better. Yeah.
The fall one with infants, toddlers is a nightmare.
Oh, God.
I can actually tell you once they get older, they have no issues. So
yeah, that's good. So before we move on with this episode, just want to say if you're listening on Spotify, that's awesome. Thanks for joining us. Anywhere that you're listening, whatever podcast service you're listening to, please pause this real fast and write us a review. Reviews really help with visibility, and we'd really like to hear what you think about our podcast. Also, I have a code for you for Steam, and the code is G2CP9VREZ4 7. I think that's an I. 9G8. So go ahead and plug that into Steam and enjoy the game. And it's a surprise. You'll find out when you plug it in.
I don't even know.
You do not. This episode, we're going to focus on the Nintendo Direct, which was revealed last week and happened. And wow, it was stellar.
It was a thing.
There's
a lot of things, actually. And it ended with a big thing, but also some other things that surprised me.
I was so excited to listen to it. I streamed the YouTube on the way home and just listened to the audio. So I didn't see some of the stuff that was going on. I mean, I didn't see any of the stuff really. But I just ate my data away listening to that video. I was just so excited to hear the news. So it started off with 3DS games. Do you want to run us through those games? And what you
sure. I mean, there was the key thing here for me from the overall takeaway from 3DS is they're going to be releasing games with 3DS into 2019.
Yeah, with Mario and Luigi, Bowser's Inside Story. Yeah, I guess there's a Bowser Jr. component to that as well.
Yeah, there's that. So that was like, you got to be kidding me. For one, like we're gonna go another at least year, maybe a little bit more of 3DS games. When I thought they'd be really winding it down.
Right.
So, okay. So what do we get? We get a WarioWare game coming out in August. We got this new game, Dylan's Dead Heatbreakers?
Yeah, it's like a tower defense racing
game. It looks so weird. But very Nintendo. I have no clue. I don't know if I'd be interested in playing it or not, but they're still putting out new things for the 3DS, like completely strange new experiments. So that, we mentioned the Bowser's Inside Story. But then the other, the one that I was surprised about was Luigi's Mansion remake.
Yeah, so they're putting the GameCube remakes on the 3DS.
I guess so.
And I read later that actually they originally envisioned Luigi's Mansion being in 3D somehow on the GameCube. I'm not sure exactly how.
Oh, interesting.
So this is kind of a realization of that team's vision, which is nice. Also, I think that the GameCube engine, or I don't know what you can explain what this is, but it seems like it's already running on 3DS, so that it's easier to port it there. Yeah,
seems like it, or at least whatever engine they used for that. So there we go. I thought you would be excited because it's a whole game about Luigi.
I'm super excited because for two reasons. One, the one you just mentioned, but also I've heard so many good things about this game, and I never had a GameCube, so I want to start playing some of these GameCube games. And having spent a lot of time recently playing the 3DS with Crono Trigger, I'm realizing I really like the system, especially the new one. Like it turns on and gets into my game. I'm in my game in probably 15 seconds.
Nice.
Yeah, it's almost as fast as the Switch. Really, it just blows right in. But honestly, I'm excited the most about Detective Pikachu. And this has been out in Japan for a while, and I didn't know if it was going to come out to the States or not. But it just...
Oh my god, the voice is insane.
It's so weird.
What is really... this? There's a whole movie being made of it, too.
Yeah, exactly. Ryan Reynolds, I think, is the voice. So he's just like a gruff detective. A lot of people wanted Danny DeVito to be the voice in the movie. But it's just this gruff kind of noir... Not noir so much, but just a detective story with Pikachu as the main character. And it's just like, this will probably be the first Pokemon game I play.
That thing was the strangest looking thing ever.
It's really weird.
I don't know why. I don't know. But whoever thought that up, more power to you. But,
well, it must have done pretty well in Japan. And obviously, they're bringing the movie over here, so it makes sense to bring the game. But the game in Japan launched, I think, in 2016, so it's been a while.
Yeah.
Also, Bowser's Inside Story looks pretty good. I just got that game at the end of last year for the DS, the original one, to play on my 3DS, so I probably won't unless double dip unless I play it this year and really like it and want to try the new stuff. But people rave about Inside Story being the best Mario and Luigi game, so
I never played it back in the day, so maybe I'll pick it up.
You played other Mario and Luigi games, though, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Like Superstar Saga or something.
Yeah. But it's been a while. Been a long while. So.
Yeah. Well, those are the 3DS games, 5 of them. I think a lot of people were saying, I want those on Switch, but it's kind of a nice to know, that they're continuing to support the 3DS with some games, but there's just so many systems out in the wild that there's just still money to be made on that system for them, so. And these are not exactly hard games. All of them are. I don't know how many of the mini games from WarioWare are ported over from other WarioWare games. I've never played WarioWare before, but Luigi Mansion's a port. Bowser's Inside Story is a port. I don't know about Dylan's. It's just a small game. And then Pikachu was already released on 3DS, so it's not exactly. They just had to localize it basically.
Yeah, I mean it's not full. I would say full on support for the 3DS, like at its height, but they're clearly gonna keep supporting it for the future in some form.
Well, if you compare it to the Nintendo Switch side, which we're about to get to, there were like 3 times the mini games for the 3D or Switch. So, we start off with Star Allies, Kirby Star Allies, which comes out in a couple of days, I guess, the 28th.
Yeah.
The demo. Have you played the demo yet?
I have not played the demo.
Yeah, neither have I. I've heard some mixed results or mixed things about it.
I mean, I saw it being played at Emerald City Comic Con.
Oh, right.
I couldn't really tell how it was overall. I feel like Kirby games are kind of a select taste for a few.
Yeah.
Like, there's definitely people that love the Kirby games, but I know plenty of people that are like, Kirby whatever.
Yeah.
So,
it's kind of how I feel.
Does it make Kirby fans happy? I'd want to know.
Yeah. I've been reading the Nintendo Switch subreddit. People have mainly been down on the game, but some people have liked it. Mainly people have liked it as a co-op game, but playing solo, people have thought that it's just, usually they're easy games, but it's just way too easy with all the allies that Kirby has. They just kind of automatically fight for you, so you're just kind of running through the level, not really doing much. But I have the demo. I'm hoping to play it before next week if I could manage to shut Celeste off, which I forgot I'm also playing that this week, so I have some more things to say about that game.
So, I mean, kind of the stuff, what stood out for me in Switch land? The Dark Souls amiibo. Holy shit.
I did not expect a Dark Souls amiibo.
No, not at all. And it's hilarious, and I feel like this one's going to sell out super fast, and I think it's a GameStop exclusive, as I read.
Is it really?
Or something, but I'm like, God damn it, I will probably try to get one of these.
You a Dark Souls fan?
It's the only Souls game that I've put any amount of real time into. I beat a few bosses in the first Dark Souls. I just find that figure hilarious. So the fact that it exists, I'm like, I kind of want it. Just that one could go on my shelf.
It's the Praise the Sun.
It is the Praise the Sun.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous that they're doing this. But beyond that, they're going to do a network test for Dark Souls. So cool. Everyone will probably get a chance to play and see how it plays on the Switch.
Exactly. I want to see how it runs on Switch.
Yeah.
It should run pretty well. It was originally a 360 title, right?
It should run. Yeah. It should run fine. We got Okami HD, which is the original Wolf Zelda game. I mean, it's a very Zelda-esque type game. That type of adventure. It's just you play a wolf.
When the year it came out in the same year that Twilight Princess came out, I believe. I could be wrong about that, but
it's really close.
Well, if it is really close, it probably is that one. And on IGN, at least, those two were in the running for Game of the Year, and Okami beat Twilight Princess for Game of the Year.
I could see that.
It's basically the non-Zelda game, like the best non-Zelda game.
Yeah, and it's all based around Japanese mythology and Japanese gods. So,
well, I'm glad to see it on Switch, because when it came out on the other platforms, because it launched on Wii originally, it just seemed like a weird choice not to put it on Switch. So it's good to see it coming. I wonder if it'll be the same $20 that it was on the other consoles, because it was a budget title basically. So I don't know. We'll see. I know Octopath Traveler stood out to you.
It did, and we have a date now. We still don't have a final name. Because they always talked that this wasn't the final name.
They did, but now they didn't call... This is the first time they haven't called it Project Octopath Traveler.
I mean, really, if they just dropped the project from it, that'd be hilarious.
Yeah, it seems like that's what they did. I guess we'll still see. They could obviously change things.
Maybe they feel like all their marketing has been for Octopath Traveler now, so why confuse people?
Oh, and someone pointed out, if you look at the names of the characters so far, 4 of them have been revealed, and it's 4 of the letters from Octopath.
Oh.
So it seems likely that the other 4 letters will be the first letters of the 4 other characters.
That's true. Interesting.
Yeah. It's like Tressa, and there's an O name. I can't remember the other ones. So Octopath Traveler, Dark Souls Remastered. Anything else stand out to you from this list? Save the last one. We'll get to that one.
Yeah, we can save the last one. Captain Toad, definitely.
Yeah.
I am definitely looking, because I never had the chance to play that. Right. So, of course. And
what a fun puzzle game. Oh my god.
Yeah, it seems really... I'm excited to try it out. What else stood out? Actually, Tennis Aces looked really fun.
Yeah, that's good, because I spent a hell of a lot of time talking about it.
I mean, I was like, I would play this. This seems like a pretty fun family tennis game.
Well, I'm one of the suckers who bought the Wii U Ultra Smash Tennis, and it was not great. There was just not much to it. So this looks like what it should have been. And, you know, I don't once burned, twice shy, but I'm interested to see what the reviews look like for this game, at least. Because I love the Mario sports games, especially Strikers. So yeah.
So, I mean, those are the big things that stood out for me. And, of course, the end.
Well, before you get to the end, for me, it was Treasure Tracker as well. I'm glad to see new levels coming in for Super Mario Odyssey levels, things like that. I was happy to see South Park coming, Fractured Butthole, just because that shows more support from Ubisoft coming over to the Switch, even if it's a game I probably won't play. If I were to play it, it's nice to have it on the screen where I don't have to subject my wife to the game. Octopath Traveler, absolutely, and then Splatoon 2 DLC was a surprise.
I'm sure that you're super excited about that.
I am. The first player single player content for Splatoon 2 was pretty rad. Haven't quite finished it, but what I played so far was really good. So just to see them supporting this game with story DLC makes me really, really optimistic that we're going to get story DLC for Super Mario Odyssey. I would think so. I think that's probably an E3 reveal. But I'm excited about it. It's $20 for the Splatoon 2 DLC, and it's I only listened to it. I haven't come back and watched the trailer, but you play as an Octoling, right? Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then, of course, just the insane hype for the final game revealed, which was set up by Splatoon, the Inklings running around shooting each other.
Yeah, and you're like,
really
it's
nice
the Inklings.
CG.
Yeah, and you're like, what Splatoon thing are they going to announce now? Oh, wait. That's not Splatoon.
Then it gets really fucking dark.
Yeah.
And in the eye, you see the reflection of the Smash logo, and then it's just a character standing in front of like a burning Smash logo, and then it says 2018.
Now that is honestly shocking.
Yeah, really is.
I mean, I may have guessed that maybe that would be their big thing this year, but we're already in March. Nothing has come out. It's kind of hard to feel like, oh, they're going to have a game out in like 6 months.
Right.
7 months, maybe. I say between 6 and 8 months, this game comes out.
I put my money on September, man.
I
think it's
would think
so. With the online, yeah.
But I could see them holding it even, like, it will be out before Thanksgiving, for sure.
Absolutely.
Like the latest. So I think the window is between whenever the online thing launches in September to the week before Thanksgiving.
It's going to be a heavy... I know a lot of things haven't been announced. There's probably more stuff coming out this year, but just between Smash and Fire Emblem, like that's enough first-party stuff for me to get me through the year with Nintendo.
And I just saw no Fire Emblem stuff in this Direct.
I would have bet my life that they would have said something about Fire Emblem, because I think
E3.
Yeah, and if that's true, does that mean that Fire Emblem is their big focus, or is it going to be Smash?
I don't know. I don't know anymore. But it's weird that they didn't show it at all during this. So I can only imagine that it could be. Maybe they. Hard to say. But I'd much rather them make a good game than try to rush it out.
No, absolutely. I want Smash. I want Fire Emblem on Switch to be good, so I can wait. There's plenty to play. I'm still playing like 3 games that I bought basically last year. So there's after the Direct, Masahiro Sakurai was on Twitter and he said, "Yep, I'm working on this. I've been working on it basically since the DLC wrapped on Wii U version." So that makes me think it's not just a port. It makes me think it's actually like a proper new Smash Brothers.
Yeah, I think it's, from what I've seen, I could see it running off same engine-ist type thing, but it's probably going to be more than just, hey, here's Smash Wii U with the characters and some new characters. It's going to have its own mechanics a little bit and change things up.
Yeah, I think it'll change a few of the mechanics up. I'm hoping it brings over all the characters and then adds. I'd hate to lose Cloud or Bayonetta or Ryu. Just the third-party characters. Honestly,
I could see them losing the third party. It's happened in every iteration before. So, and honestly, they probably, if it's a new game, they have to relicense them all. So, who knows if they'll want to deal with that or if they'll trickle them out later? Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm hoping that they kind of bring in the Smash Run from the 3DS version of Smash Brothers. I thought that single-player mode was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I can't even remember the single-player mode from the Wii U one because I hated it so much. But Smash Wii U was just incredible and underplayed, so I'm looking forward to it running on Switch. And I think I know the Ice Climbers were cut last time because they wanted the same game on both 3DS and Wii U, and 3DS couldn't handle 4 Ice Climbers on the screen at the same time. So that's why that was cut. So I imagine they might come back.
Yeah, I could see that.
Not that I give a fuck about that character, but I know some people do.
Yeah, that's a good possibility, I would think. If they already had that done, and they just feel like we can't put it out, then why not put it out somewhere?
Because they did the work already.
Yeah.
So I know the question to this is, or the answer to this is probably going to be, I don't know, but just top 3 characters that you want to see in Smash. Inkling's already been revealed, and we've talked about this last year with our guessing of what's going to happen this year, but just because this is hype levels are right now. What do you want to see?
If you just want my top 3 Smash characters, they don't have to be. Do you want outside characters?
No,
because I don't even care about outside characters. I want Link, I want Zelda, and I want Samus.
Okay, so
those are my 3 characters that I really enjoy.
Yeah, for me, Samus is my top character. I love playing Zero Suit Samus and then regular Samus, and then I like playing Toon Link. So those are my 3 top characters. And then what about characters who are not in it that you'd like to see? This is where I imagine the I don't know is going to come in.
Oh god, who do I want to see? I want to see Pauline. Because why not? She's there now.
Right.
Trying to think of other. I actually, from a mechanic standpoint, I would love to see an ARMS character.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I played ARMS or care, but I just feel like they could have a lot of fun in the Smash type game with extending arms and like arms that can kind of bend around things a bit.
Right.
It would just be a fun thing to try. And I honestly feel like I don't know if they've done it before, but bring in some of the newer Fire Emblem characters. Because I remember last time I really played a ton of Smash, the GameCube one. I mean, I had Marth. What was the other one? There were 2.
Roy
and Marth. They were always there, but I'm like, I would love to see some of the newer characters.
Well, you're in luck because the Wii U one brought in a ton of new characters.
Oh, did it?
There was Robin, there was Lucina, there was Corrin.
Nice. Okay. Good.
Yeah, so they brought in a bunch. So I don't know who they could bring in unless the new
Fire Emblem. They could totally see do some crossover. I can see
Sakurai
there.
doing that. Sakurai just in love with Fire Emblem, so I can see him doing that. For me, it's pretty easy. Shovel Knight is number 1.
Yeah.
Probably number 2 is Simon Belmont from Castlevania. And then King K. Rool from Donkey Kong Country, nice. I think would be awesome. I'd like to see another enemy. Outside of that, I can see them doing a separate Link for Breath of the Wild Link.
Yeah.
And then maybe bringing in the champions from Link Breath of the Wild.
You're right. I hadn't thought champions would be really cool.
Or at least Prince Sidon. Who knows?
Oh, of course.
The heartthrob.
He can do his taunt. his thumbs up and wink and smile.
God,
I could totally see them bringing all the champions in. I could see that as a DLC pack.
Or at least as assist trophies. I could see it as assist trophies, if nothing else.
Yeah.
I hope this game comes out this year. That's one of my favorite Nintendo games. I remember, like, in high school, all four of us just playing that game. Just
over. It was that and Mario Kart and GoldenEye. I think those were four that we played on the N64 constantly.
I just remember just making Travis so mad playing Mario Kart that he would just quit and go in his room because we were just kicking his ass so badly. But GoldenEye, man, we played so much of that. God, I'm sure that game sucks now, but back then it was just a blast.
It sucks only because we can see how far we've gone since then.
Yeah.
But we didn't have better back then.
No, absolutely.
And that was kind of pushing the edge of this, like, split screen multiplayer. Mm-hmm. We didn't have Halo. We didn't have anything that redefined. It was pretty amazing that we had an N64 that had a joystick on it, so that you could actually, like, strafe. Or no, the stick didn't strafe you. The stick
it was like the C
was the
C
look,
button, right?
still look, and it was the like
the
arrow buttons, were actually what allow you to strafe and do things like that. God, that was a weird game.
I just think, thank God, that the 64 had 4 controller inputs in the front.
It was a great choice.
Yeah, and just happened to be 4 of us, so just pounding those joysticks on Mario Party, just like our palms were raw.
Blisters. I remember the Mario Party blisters.
Yep. Oh my God, that was so fun.
Oh, nostalgia.
Yeah. So that was the Direct. A couple other games they talked about were Fire Emblem Warriors Deluxe Edition, Little Nightmares, Crash Bandicoot's coming.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
Switch. Yeah, Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes, Sushi Striker. Yeah,
also super strange.
That was very weird, especially the sushi with strawberries on it.
I was like, okay, let's do this. I mean, if you go to the conveyor, I don't know if the sushi has strawberries, but I've been to the conveyor belt sushi places that have, like, desserts as well. Like, sweet things, as well as sushi on different trays coming around.
I see.
Not raw fish with strawberries.
Right. Well, the thing that we didn't hear, that I'm 100% certain is coming this year, is Diablo 3. I have some news about that game, and I firmly believe it's going to be here by the end of the year.
That tweet made it pretty clear. Like, even if they're playing coy,
yeah, absolutely.
Like, sure, they're going to play coy, like, but no, you don't make a tweet like that and then not unless the only reason to make that tweet and not do it is just to test the waters if people want it.
See how excited people are.
And I mean, if they're like, oh yeah, there's total people want this, okay, let's just do it. I think E3 announcement.
Yeah.
Or they'll hold it and just do it at BlizzCon. And it will be on. And they're like, and guess what? It's out in a few weeks. Have fun.
Well, I was talking to Greg about it briefly, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I got another character to level 70 on the latest season." I was like, "The who to what?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I play Diablo 3 all the time." I was like, "What? How did I not know this, man?" So yeah, that game I would buy it a third time.
Yeah.
If it came to Switch, absolutely, hands down, no questions asked. So that was the Direct. It was awesome. It was huge, and I'm sure we won't get any more big news like that until E3. Next month will be Labo, whatever.
Labo.
Yeah, and then May will probably be the calm before the storm.
Yeah.
So yeah, excitement. Speaking of new games, we're playing an old game still.
We are.
Chrono Trigger, which is just awesome. It is so fucking good. It is really, really good.
Yeah. So this time we both basically just went through Magus's Castle, right? Like,
yeah, I did a little bit after Magus's Castle, but yeah.
I mean, I went through Magus and I exited the building you are at the end of where we stopped, and now I'm just saved on the world map.
Okay.
But so you've been playing it a little bit more recently than I did. What happened?
So you get to Magus's Castle. I don't remember where I was before I went to Magus's Castle.
Frog, I think getting Frog.
Oh yeah. Getting Frog, putting Masamune together, getting Frog, and then basically going to the Fiend Lord's Keep.
Yep.
Which Fiend Lord is Magus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then you're just in this castle, and this time I was a little more patient. Like I went through, and I was just like characters that you've seen before. And you kind of interact with them. They say a few things to you, but you can't really. There's nothing to do until you go on both sides. At least from my playthrough.
Yep.
And then when you come back out of the second side, then all hell breaks loose. Ozzy is there, and he starts. He says you have to beat like 100 enemies, I guess, and I didn't count them, but I assume it was close to 100. You just get in fight after fight after fight after fight, going up and down both sides of this castle. And at the end of one side, there's Slasher, I think his name is.
Yep.
And the other side is Flea, like these two kind of like mini bosses, basically. And I didn't find either one of them too challenging. I
think Slasher I wouldn't find it too challenging, but Slasher does a pretty decent amount of damage as the fight goes definitely on. And so I had to manage that one a lot more. Flea, I didn't have to manage much at all. Like, some status ailments, but that was easy to take care of.
Well, I found it interesting because then after you beat those two mini bosses, there's kind of like side platforming almost. Not really platforming, but you're kind of going side perspective up these stairs and having battles from side to side instead of kind of a top-down perspective. But along the way, Ozzy is basically throwing hazards at you, and you're trying to avoid stepping into pits and going back down into this just pit maybe with save points that become enemies. You're fighting save points.
And there's one that's an actual save point.
Yeah,
and then like one that is exit,
transport you back up,
and then two the fake ones that become enemies.
So I thought that was kind of breaking the fourth wall, like an interesting thing to see. But spending so much time getting to Ozzy, and then when you get to Ozzy, like it's pretty obvious that you attack the things around him instead of him. Yeah, because he like kind of shrouds himself in ice, and then if you do that, he falls through a pit to himself and below him, and then he's basically gone.
And you're like, oh, okay. It was a neat fake out.
Yeah, I like when games do that, where it, the typical structure is like mini bosses, then bigger boss, then big boss. So it's nice to have like the bigger boss basically use your brains to get rid of him. And then Magus show up, and he wrecks me in. It must have been 10 seconds. And I was like, I'm doing something wrong. So I texted you. I was like, what the fuck is happening here? And then your tip about making sure Robo's healing, and then just being aware of his barrier, what he's immune to. And my characters, all I had was, Crono and Frog. So I had lightning and water, basically. So I had to kind of wait and then attack him.
Yeah, and you use Frog to just drop his defense if it's not matching up. Like Masamune. Right. So it's more of a timing thing, and then he goes into his like build up huge magic,
right?
And you just kind of try to unleash as much as you can on him. Then,
yeah, and just having Robo being the healer, because I had Robo, Frog, and Crono, just kept me in the game, and it was probably like a 5-minute fight, and I beat him. And then it was really abrupt. You beat him, and then all of a sudden there's a cutscene where you're buried tomorrow, I guess.
No, so before that, you start getting the talk of. Was Magus actually summoning Lavos or not?
I got the impression that he was trying to stop him from coming.
I think. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, you might be wrong on what's actually going on.
Yeah, I feel like there's some sort of like narrative twist coming, and I don't know, but if there is a narrative twist, I think it's revolving around Magus, where maybe he's not the enemy, and like that whole cutscene made me think maybe I'm onto something here.
Yeah.
But he was super strong, and it looked like maybe he was trying to stop, because Robo had the information in that scene, at least, where this is where Lavos was created, and he wasn't created at that time. And it seems like maybe you've done more harm than good by stopping Magus in that scene. And then you go into the cutscene where you
get pulled into this like weird warp, like not a normal time portal, and then you wake up to someone calling your name again,
right?
And you think it's your mom. It's not your mom.
Yeah, I thought it was. It's Marlon telling you, get up, you bum. You gotta keep this job.
Yeah.
And that's the whole cutscene, and it fades away, and you end up in 65 million BC again.
Waking up. So was it a dream?
Right. True.
I don't know.
It seemed like it was, just because it was so abrupt and weird, but who knows. But then this time, finally, like this is the third time I went to the Dactyl Nest, and finally there was something there.
Yeah.
So get to fly around. I flew to the top right northwest corner of the map. No, northeast corner of the map. That island that's by itself, and there's a sun temple there.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, there's a sun temple, and you go in the sun temple, and there's nothing. Apparently, in 2300 AD, there's something in that spot. I don't know how you get there, but I went there up to the Dactyl, and there was nothing for me to do. So I went to the Tyranno lair, and that's where I stopped.
Okay. Yeah, you'll start getting to stuff like that where stuff will be in the different time periods, and you'll need to do something in the past and then go to a later time period to reap the rewards of it,
right?
Or to progress the story more. Like, you'll start doing a lot of weird time stuff. It's a time travel game. It's not shocking.
Has there been a side story or a side quest yet? Have we got to that point yet?
I don't think so. I think we're coming close. Honestly, this is a problem. Like, playing it so long ago for me, 10 years, there's so much of this stuff I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm sitting there, I'm like, I remember where my, like, that 25-hour playthrough is and what I have, and I know I did a couple side quests by that point. But I still, like, but there's still a couple missing pieces where I'm like, I know I have certain things in that playthrough, the 25-hour playthrough, that we still don't have yet. So I don't know, and so there's some couple key things that we still need to do, I think, before it all opens up to do these side quests.
Okay, that makes sense, because I don't think there's been a case where I've missed something, because I've kind of been everywhere, and there are places where you just can't do anything yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm rolling Robo and Frog, and actually, I guess right now it's Ayla. Yeah. Because she's in your party for the 65 million VC thing. But I find that the characters that are not in my party, they're actually leveling up.
They do level up. Do they? I don't know if they get tech points, though. I'd have to check on that.
Yeah, I don't know. But they're definitely leveling up because they're level 25 with me now. So
yeah, so that's nice. So you don't have to worry about switching party members around. Yeah.
Well, all of them kind of do heal. So if I don't need Marl, I can use the other ones for heal, and then they have stronger attacks, I think. But I don't know. I'll swap them in and out just to have variety of the techs, basically. But I just love the strategy of the fights, like the jugglers. Like, if you attack with magic, then they're strong against magic, and you have to switch to like melee, basically. There's just some engaging battles that I haven't seen with a lot of JRPGs. It kind of just seems like a lot of grinding, and I'm just more engaged with the fights in this game. I
would agree. The fights are more thought out, and then they work really interesting with the text. Like, your party composition just changes things drastically, right? Because what options you have available to you from text. So, like, when I was going through the castle, I was doing, of course, Chrono, Frog, and Marl for most of it.
Oh, okay.
And Frog and Marl together can do Ice Water.
Oh, awesome.
Which is an AoE, hits everything.
Oh, shit. I need to do that.
And just does so much damage. It was... But most fights, I could do that and then just have Chrono go in and, like, the juggler and just do a single attack on the juggler or cleave and just wipe most fights. Like,
oh, dang. That would have made them a lot quicker.
It is just an interesting combination of techs and what things they're weak to, what they're strong against. So... And the ability to just switch out your party at any time, for the most part.
Right.
So it helps a lot.
I'm thankful that we're doing this, that we decided to tackle this kind of project. Because I'm not sure if I would have started it without this and stuck with it. But now that I've got past the part where I always stopped before, it's just like, it's great. And which 3DS do you have? Do you have a XL or do you have a small regular one? Oh, okay. But it's the regular XL, not the 3DS, or not the new one, right?
It is not a new 3DS.
Man, these new ones are fast, man. I sometimes, like, turning on the 3DS, it would just chug getting into the game, and this is just like bing, 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 in.
Well, one thing it would change is the fact that my 3DS has been plugged in or charged constantly, and I never have exited the game. So it's literally I just open it and continue playing.
You weren't like me where I closed it but didn't have it plugged in and lost like a half an hour of work. So that's smart.
No. But it's really, I'm like, oh no, if I feel like playing, I can just open this thing and play.
Right.
No wait.
Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, it's just, I think I'm at 11 hours. You're probably a little less.
9.5, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense. And do you think we're halfway through or not quite yet?
I don't think we're quite halfway through. I could be wrong, though.
Yeah.
I think we're probably like 40% of the way through, I would bet.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. I'm like already in my mind thinking like, what are we going to play after this game? Because I want to keep doing this.
Yes.
So we'll cross that bridge later, of course. But now we are also playing other games. You're playing and I'm playing the same game as last week. So let's hear about Monster. Yep. Yeah, let's hear about Monster Hunter World.
I gotta keep saying, like, is there anything more to be saying? I'm hunting monsters, getting parts, crafting armor, getting stronger, hunting more monsters. I am fighting. The last few days been going at it with friends on like harder monsters, and I've actually started losing quests now, just because we're tackling things that are really challenging.
Right.
But the weird thing is, compared to this game, compared to like Bloodborne or the Souls games, I don't really bounce off of this one if I lose, because I've never invested all that much time, and then just choosing the quest again and attempting it again, super quick and easy. Mm-hmm. And it's not like you've lost any progress.
Right.
Your character's not any worse for failing a quest. You just didn't complete the quest, so you don't have the items you could have won from doing it. So there's not as much loss aversion, I guess. You're just like, oh, okay, well, that sucked. I wasted 20 minutes, but let's try it again. But 20 minutes it's 20 minutes where you're learning the fight. So like the Diablos was the high-ranked Diablos was the one that we've been fighting, and I can now do it on my own without issue. But it took a number of times to understand the rhythm of the fight, the tells of the monster to know, like, oh, it's going to charge now. I should run out of the way. Like,
right.
Oh, I shouldn't jump in the air right now because its tail's going to knock me out. Like, it's just learning the fight, and once you know the fight, it becomes quicker and easier, but it feels really good. There's always, like, this game just has such big player highs on just feeling like a complete and total badass when you execute your, like, combo perfectly. And ending with, like, breaking parts of the monster, like cutting its tail off or breaking its horn. So yeah, I'm not ready to stop playing it. Like, I'm at 62 hours now, something like that.
Damn, son. And I was going to ask you, like, when this ends for you. Is it at the end of the campaign, or?
I don't even know, because I've asked when the end of the campaign is at, and I'm probably not even halfway done with the campaign.
Damn, because you're so sidetracked with side stuff, right?
Well, you kind of just have to. Like, yeah. I guess if I was really, really good, I could have done the next, like, gating monster. But I kind of wanted to gear myself up better and not be gimped on that point. Like, really just be like, okay, I have the best gear I can get right now. I have the best weapons I can get right now, depending on what element I want. Just making my options wider and doing optional quests that make my Palico better, my cat party member, the canteen, so that I get better food whenever I eat for missions. Like, just upgrading all the side stuff as well, and not putting it off. There's so much to do in the game. Holy crap. And when we're done recording tonight, I'll probably go play another couple hours.
Did you get the Aloy skin?
I did get the Aloy skin.
Nice.
I did not get the Aloy bow.
Okay.
I don't really care. It's two separate things. So.
Right. Does the armor make it look like you're playing as Aloy?
Yeah, you put it on and you look like Aloy.
That's awesome.
Like, it changes your model to look like Aloy. Because there's a Ryu skin.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I think that's dual blades, but basically, when you put the armor on, it makes you look like Ryu from Street Fighter V.
That's awesome.
Which is hilarious to see running around in the world. But
well, in the Street Fighter V, I forgot to go in. Ken has really awesome Monster Hunter armor if you complete these certain fight sequences that I wanted to do, but I forgot to log in. But it's I like the crossover. It's makes it interesting.
And Monster Hunter is now Capcom's best-selling game ever. Monster Hunter World, 7.5 million copies worldwide.
And I don't understand how they're counting that, because I know for a fact Street Fighter 2 sold more than that. So it must be like a skew, basically.
Yes, I assume it's...
Because you look at their list of top-selling games, like Resident Evil 6 or 5 is up on top of the list, or no.
But actually, that's the thing. They actually break it down by Street Fighter SKU.
Right.
So, like, there's tons of different versions of Street Fighter 2.
Right.
So together, they are more than that.
Right.
Yes, together it's, if you just, every version of Street Fighter 2 together is 19.4 million.
Exactly.
But the highest selling Street Fighter 2 is Street Fighter 2 The World Warrior on SNES. was 6.3 million.
So World does beat that. Okay.
Yes. I wonder how much the Monster Hunter franchise has sold total.
Yeah, because I imagine it sold a ton on 3DS, but obviously not that much, apparently. So, being multi-platform and not being on mobile where you have to, load in every single damn zone.
Yeah, and I feel like there's definitely, only in the last couple Monster Hunters has it started picking up steam in the West.
Right.
It's always been a big seller in Japan, but not in the States. And something happened where people are like, yep, it's time. We're going all in on Monster Hunter now.
Right. No, it's the right move, and I hope. I heard it was Iron Galaxy, Adam Boyes, who was like, we'll port that to Switch for you. Just give us the work.
I honestly
won't run on it.
That's always as a developer thing to say. I'm sure you can make a version of Monster Hunter World that would run on the Switch. I just don't know if I'd want you to do that because of how much would have to be sacrificed.
Right.
From visual fidelity. I mean, they got Doom running on there.
Yeah.
But it's not like Doom running on a PS4 or a PC. Right. They had to cut corners. They
released a Monster Hunter game last year on the Switch in Japan, Monster Hunter Double Cross, which was like an up-res. Up-res Generations.
Yeah.
But still, put that on Switch, localize it for the US. You would sell that shit. So
I worry if they do that now. Because World is a much kinder Monster Hunter. It still has a lot of bullshit in it. But WoW doesn't have a lot less bullshit than Generations in previous games.
That's probably
lots of
not newbie
usability
friendly
stuff. And and much... It's a game that gets you right into the action. As opposed, Monster Hunter Generations, when I was playing that, it took forever before I fought a big monster. Ever.
Yeah.
There's so much just doing all this stupid stuff first. World gets you into it quickly. They cut out a ton of the low level kind of tutorial stuff and tried to just integrate the tutorial a lot smoother. And it works. It grabs you a lot quicker. So I there's part of me it's like, no, it's cool. You don't need to bring an older one across. Just when you do the next Monster Hunter World 2 or whatever's next, just make a version for the Switch as well. So the Monster Hunter, the estimate for the entire franchise of Monster Hunter is 48 million worldwide.
Wow.
So
not bad.
Not bad at all. And boy, have they started selling a hell of a lot more as time's gone on.
And this one, just rejuvenated the franchise for a lot of people. So people, you dabbled in earlier ones, but this one has just got you by the throat, man.
Yeah, it cut. Like I said, it was quick to get going, and it cut out some of the annoying stuff that held me back before. Not to say the game definitely needs a pass on some of the UI stuff. It's confusing as hell at first.
Yeah.
Right. And good thing I had friends to explain some systems to me. And once they did, I'm like, oh, I get it. And wow, this UI is terrible at explaining that. But whatever. I know what to do now. Moving on. But yeah, I absolutely adore the game, though.
Well, that's good. I hope there was some news this week about Geralt coming to a game later this year. And initially, I thought it was going to be Monster Hunter, like a skin, like Aloy, basically, which would have been rad. And I definitely would have jumped in. Just for some reason, playing as Geralt just is the thing to tip me over the edge for that game. But more that I read, it sounds like it's going to be Soul Calibur 6 is where you're going to see Geralt. But I still, my friend Brad here and I have talked about getting it on PC later in the year and playing it there. So I still might be doing that. Because I think at that point you'll probably not be playing it anymore. So
probably not. Yeah, but who knows? So. They supposedly there's going to be DLC for it, more DLC, and it's supposedly all free. So.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Is there some sort of microtransaction mechanic in the game where you're buying?
Nope.
Wow. It's just
nothing.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's good for Capcom. Well, we should be supporting those games if we don't like MTs. So. So, game I've been playing, in addition to Chrono Trigger, I forgot I played it early in the week. Celeste, dude. I got into the third or fourth world, It's just amazing platforming. Like it's like a puzzle platformer, basically, like trying to figure out how to get through, and it's just amazing. It's one of the best platformers. I'm gonna wait till I finish the game to say that, but it's really good. But the world that I'm in might be the third or the fourth. There, you get into a back room, and in the back room there's another secret passage that I just happened to stumble into, and in there is a computer. And when you go and interact with the computer, it's a Pico 8 basically version of Celeste, the one that's on the web for free right now.
Okay.
So I basically spent like 35 minutes playing Celeste inside of Celeste.
On the Pico 8?
On the Pico 8 version, yeah.
The fake console?
You can Google it right now and play it.
Yep.
So God, it was so fun. It was just like a distilled version of the bigger game that I'm playing. And it has a few mechanics later in that game that I think will come into the Celeste game, the big one on the Switch. But it was just by the end, just some crazy ass jumps. Like basically you have one platform and then you're just leaping from like airborne thing to airborne thing to get to the next screen. And it's just, the thing that's so smart about it is just the same thing with Meat Boy, where you die and you just instantly start again. And the checkpoints are really generous. So just every single room you get to is a checkpoint. So you never feel like you're losing too much progress. Music is, you listened to it finally.
Yes, I did.
This week. The soundtrack is just incredible.
It really is. I had it on in the background a couple times.
Yeah. It's, so just more Celeste. I think I'd probably put another hour and a half into it early in the week. It's the game that's on my Switch, and that's all I'm playing on my Switch. And then for 3DS, I'm playing Chrono Trigger, obviously. There's just been no console playing for me the last couple of weeks, pretty much. Except for that one night when I had a few beers and played some Origins, which was amazing. But yeah, it's just portable play right now. And then I spent a lot of time this week getting ready for a role-playing session that you and I and a friend did.
Which is a blast.
I'm glad you guys had fun. It was so much fun to plan, and it's just like in my blood. Like I just all I want to do is read about role playing and like what GMs or DMs should be doing, and like thinking about tweaking the storyline based upon, I had like a skeleton structure. The best advice was like, don't plan anything so rigid that you can't adapt. And then you guys, within the first 10 minutes, like blew my plans out of the water. And then I had to take those pieces and reorient them based upon what you guys are doing. It was just like so fun to like just improv and like, okay, well, you're gonna do this now. We're gonna do this and roll for this, and then just the rolls that our friend Greg was doing were just terrible. He kept trying to like do stuff and he just kept rolling terribly.
And honestly, sometimes rolling terribly makes the most entertaining story.
Yeah, it's definitely
it's probably the hardest thing to like, as a player for me and long time getting used to was, you know what? I shouldn't be making the optimal decision here.
Yeah. Because it makes it too easy, right?
It's not even too easy, but you think it doesn't make it if you're always trying to think about like not what would my character do, but what would my character do and what would be the best thing for my character to do right now. You miss out on fun. Like just pure like crazy events happening.
Well, I think the funnest and funniest thing that happened in our game last night was when you guys rolled shittily.
Yeah.
It just the liberties that I was able to take by narrating some of those things, but also handing it over to you guys and say, okay, you rolled this, so what happens?
Yeah.
Was really nice. So
it was a good time. I had a blast.
Yeah. And other than that, in terms of video games this week, I've spent about 6 hours with Blood of Elves, which is the first actual novel of The Witcher. There were a couple books beforehand that were short stories, but this is the first novel. And it's really heavy Triss, Ciri, and Geralt. And it's just really good. Like obviously it's not a video game book because it was a book and the video game mined it for stuff in the games, but it's just such good background on those characters, and they just read like they play, basically.
How does that line up with the story in the games? Like, do they try to say like the games are set after all this story?
I don't think so, because there's I think they just take components of the books and put them into the game. I haven't read, like, there are things in the short stories that came across in the game. For example, in Witcher 3, when you get to the last wish quest where you decide whether or not you're going to stick with Yen, that was actually a short story, which made me realize that I chose the wrong, because I chose Triss over Yen and stuck with that decision. So there's a component in this novel where Triss comes to Kaer Morhen and gets like the best bed in Kaer Morhen. And in the game, if you remember, Yen finds Triss's red hair in a bed in Kaer Morhen and throws it out the window.
Yeah.
So that calls back to this part in the novel. But in this part of the novel, at least so far, Yen hasn't come to Kaer Morhen and throw the bed out. That might happen later. I'm not sure. But it's just like Oxenfurt and like all the locales and a lot of the backstory is there, but not so much any of the main quests so far. Yeah.
I read the short stories.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed them. Yeah.
The Last Wish.
Yeah, I read those.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be interested to know whenever you finish it what you think.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to probably getting through the rest of it this week. It reads like a short story writer trying to write his first novel, where it's like a longer, almost like a novelette of Geralt and Ciri, and then it abruptly like advances in time, and it's almost like a different story at that point, even though it's continuing the ideas from the first story. So it reads less like a novel and more like longer short stories, but it's still superb. If you're into The Witcher, like it's a good read. So yeah, that's my video game reading, which I spent more time reading this week than playing. Which is, part of my goal this year was to finish more books than games, and I've finished 13 books this year so far. So
holy crap,
I'm well on my way. Yeah, I'm well on my way. So yeah, that's Prof and Dev Play Games episode 130. Again, if you are listening and like us, please rate us. It helps us with visibility. And if you didn't, for some reason, you're starting at the end, there was a code that we gave away at the beginning. So go back there and check that out. Anything you want to leave us with before we head off, Anthony?
No, nothing. Let's play some games and see what news hits us this week.
Yeah, we'll see what comes on the winds. So thanks everyone for staying with us, and we will see you again next week.